Well, no, I'm black on the inside.
What are you up here?
A race car driver.
What lap are you on?
33.
Hello, and welcome to Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 152. It is the second day of the week, aka the Quadzilla workout. I am on my way to the gym currently. It is a little hot, which is whatever. I'm feeling all right, feeling pretty good. Legs are feeling okay. Feel better with a little bit of a warm-up, but it is what it is. So today's subject matter is kind of funny because I didn't think I was going to talk about this before I talk about the subject that it's technically mainly about, which is fantasy football. I was going to probably do an episode about football first, but football season isn't started yet. But fantasy football is about to start before the football season starts. So that's why I wanted to mention it, and I got an invite. Well, actually, the reason why I even wanted to talk about this was because, one, I got an email about one league, and then I got an invite to another league from a friend. So I guess this entire episode is just going to be about fantasy football and my lack of knowledge. I might go, by the time I get to my voiceover, I'll probably talk about my teams, because I'll only do two this year, I believe. I'm only going to be in two different leagues, which is a pretty low amount. Last year, I think I was only in one, so that was nice. I used to be in a bunch of leagues. I used to be super into fantasy football, but not as much anymore. I've been doing fantasy football since 2012. Back in the day, Jesus, it's been 12 years. It really has been. Wow. Might have been even 2011. I don't know. Whatever year RG3 was his rookie year, that was the year that I remember particularly, because there's so many things to be memorized from all those things. But long time ago in a galaxy far, far away did we start doing fantasy football. It was me and my brother who started doing it a long time ago and still do it to this day. It's gone through different iterations, different people in it, same people in it, bunch of leagues, just different commissioners, different this, different that, different apps, different sizes, just a whole bunch of them. Yeah, at a certain point we did fantasy basketball, and I remember that particularly too, because I'm pretty sure it was like Giannis's first or second year in the league, so it was like he was a big fucking deal, I guess, at the time, because nobody knew how he would be. So yeah, that was very memorable. I'm pretty sure Kevin Love was still on the Timberwolves. That's just kind of like, that's how long ago it was. I mean, just to say. But this episode, if you can't tell already, is going to be very sports oriented. But fantasy football, it's been something that I've grown waning interest in. It's like, it's not as it once was, but I'm down enough to do it at least one league, maybe two. And this second one I wasn't even expecting. It was a friend of mine that I just seen recently who was like, hey, you want to be in this league with some people that you actually know? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, why not? And it's a 12-man league, so I'm like, all right, why not? It makes it a little bit more of a challenge. So if you've never played fantasy football or don't know what fantasy football is, that's actually a whole other discussion, really. But fantasy football is just, you basically pick a bunch of players, and throughout the season you plug them in and you try to see who scores the most points with the best combination of players, really. That's the quickest way to describe it. It gets super complicated the longer you look at it, all the rules, all the stuff. Now, did it kind of fall out of favor with me because I don't watch as much football as I used to? Partly, yes, but also because I feel like now it's just been oversaturated now. The amount of things that you could do in the fantasy realm have made it so, I wouldn't say watered down, because realistically it was the same thing over and over again. But what became a slight niche thing now became like a grand, big ass corporate thing, and I'm not necessarily against it, but I don't love it. I'm not a huge fan of it. And I've talked about gambling on the channel before, and this is one of those things where gambling goes big with it, but I tend to just ignore that entire section of it and just try to go with the actual fun aspect, the game aspect of it, which is fun still. There is a, quote, gambling aspect of it, but it's more of a, you just pay the fee to get into whatever league you're doing, but you don't even have to do that. You can do it for just fun. There are those things, so I'm not even putting putting too much stock into it. There are some people out there that I know that will sit there into the dawn of night and for an hour looking at PPR statuses, and if you don't know what PPR is, you're better off not knowing what it is, or looking at 5 different experts' opinions about fantasy and what they're going to do better this year versus this person or versus that person and all that other stuff. And I used to kind of be into that. Not anymore. I am very much I recognize this name. Yes. Is this T? And a lot of it goes by feel. I'm not gonna lie. Like last year, I did all auto. I was like, I'm not even picking anybody. I don't care. This year, I might participate in the drafts just to make things a little bit quicker. But I really don't care per se. I'm just gonna let the computer decide for me a little bit, because I did decently well whenever I let the computer decide for me. Look at that. It's funny how that works. But that one is truly 50-50, really. It really just depends. But generally speaking though, I've never won one, I'll tell you that right now. And I've gotten close once. I got to the championship game once. That was it. But it's never been anything great. I've lost a couple of them a few years where I was just last place, like dead last 2 times. Not fun when that happened, obviously. But like I said, it is what it is. With that being said, we'll go into more detail on the inside, maybe a few other things, little tidbits I might go over my team, whatever, what happened, because by the time that I actually edit this video, the drafts will have been done, and I know who's on my team and what my teams look like, and we'll talk about that and maybe a few other aspects of it, because it is a deep conversation topic. So with that being said, I'll see you on the inside.
All right, so started this day off with squats, which were great. I'm very excited to get back to these relatively soon. But anyways, to get back to the main subject matter at hand, I am currently 3-1 in my Yahoo League because I am pretty decent at picking out players that I was like, oh, this team's gonna suck, it'd be great this year. My other league that I'm in, horrible, trash, 0 out of 10. I'll go over that team in a minute, but first I'll go over this Yahoo one, which I will probably have on screen right now. First, my quarterbacks are Derek Carr, Jalen Hurts. Right now, those are the 2. They've been all right this year. They could be better, but it is what it is. I have Jalen Hurts in both leagues because I do not care to have multiple different quarterbacks. I like to try to keep it the same if I can. Then for wide receivers, I got Amari Cooper and Deebo Samuel, as well as Ahmad St. Brown. That's the other big one that I have on this team. I have a lot of good players. I think this is only an 8-man roster, so that's literally why it's so good in comparison to a lot of the other one that I have, but we'll get to that one in a second. Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, and this is a Jerome Ford as my running backs. Oh, and also Devin Singletary as well. Those are my running backs. My backup quarterback was Tua, and he got hurt. Also, I forgot as well, Chuba Hubbard, which that's such a fucking name. Holy shit. Let's be real here. And also Brian Robinson Jr., which was such a pick with the heart that it was crazy, and I'm very glad that I did it. There are a lot of teams that are surprising this year. There are teams that are very not surprising this year. There are players that don't surprise me at all, that are just terrible. But to say the least, that's that. I got the Bengals kicker, and then I have the Buffalo D. Those are it for this league. I think I'm doing very excellent in this league. I am in second place. I'm gonna lose this week, but it is what it is. Now the other league, which is a 12-man league, PPR, found out it was PPR when I was actually in the league, which is a bit rough, but it is what it is. My main quarterback is Jalen Hurts. Unfortunately, my dumbass didn't change Jalen for a week when he's on his bye week, so instead I had Kirk Cousins in my bench having 34 points and having a game of his life, of course, because that's how it is usually. You know, when you forget to do it is when they have their massive fucking game, because of course that's what it is. And then when you put them in, they give you a fucking dud immediately after. There's never anything in between. They never have a decent week afterwards. It's always either explode or a dud. But that one was my fault. Actually, it is my fault, but it's also not my fault. I usually change my lineups in the middle of my travel to work on Thursdays, but this Thursday the train didn't go. So because of that, I ended up having to go a different way to work, and that changed literally everything. I forgot to check my fantasy and fucked me in the ass. I would have been winning right now, which is super annoying. But anyways, it's a loss. I'm doing terrible in this league. I'm 1-3 right now, gonna be 1-4. Fuck me, basically. I have Samaje Perine as my running back, the Jacksonville running back. Who the hell even is this? Travis Etney? Okay, never even heard of him. Drake London, Dontavion Wicks, okay. Hunter Henry, Christian Kirk. I have the kicker for the Green Bay Packers, the Bengals defense, and then a lot of other people that are fucking hurt on my fucking list. I was the first round pick and I got McCaffrey. How annoying is it for those who got McCaffrey like I did, as well as others, to have him immediately go on IR and probably not even play this year? It is so fucking stupid and I hate it so much, and I doubt I doubt he'll come back anytime soon. I think they're saying week 6 because they want to have people like basically guesstimate when he'll be here, and then a bunch of other random players that ended up getting hurt. My bench in this league is fucked, and it's a 12-man league, so it's all fucked. I am like just gonna try to not get last place. That is my one thing in this league. Really, I'm hoping to God that if Christian McCaffrey comes back, then I'm not truly fucked. But if he doesn't come back, fucked beyond belief. Beyond belief. But it is what it is. I mean, that's the luck of the draw when it comes to fantasy. You might get number 1 pick, but your number 1 pick might not always be the real number 1 pick for the season. And that you learn the hard way. Let me also take this moment to say the NFL app fucking sucks dick. It really does suck every Sunday when you try to check your lineup at around 1 or a little bit before or a little bit after. It sucks and always keeps crashing because they can't handle all the people using it. NFL, work on your fucking app. It's garbage. Yahoo has a better one. Yahoo. Who the fuck uses Yahoo anymore? That's a good question. No one, except for fantasy, because your app is shit. Fix it. You're a $1 billion corporation. Fucking fix it. Oh, our app is being used on Sundays? That's strange. Let's do nothing to repair it.
Why do I have 3 tight ends? And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None exercises skipped. We actually had one, unfortunately, which was the hyperextension. It just was busy there for some reason. Everybody wanted to use it. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But besides that, got everything else in, thankfully. Very tired right now. I want to go to sleep, but I have other things to do. So I'm gonna go do those things and then go to sleep. Back to the main subject matter at hand, fantasy football. Main reason why I wanted to talk about it was because it's just such a random thing to come up, but also is slightly in the forefront of the mind because it is coming up as something that will be an event / thing to do, really. I like to mess around with it on Wednesdays and then just set it and forget it. You know, I'm not really gonna follow it. If I fuck up and play a player that's like game time, I'm gonna play a player that's game time. I used to be very like anal about it, like check it every day, check it every like moment I can, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta let it play out, especially with all the Thursday night games and shit. That really grinds my gears. Personally, wasn't a fan of the Thursday night game personally. I don't think the players are either. It's always a shit game anyway, but it is what it is. But overall, I do generally enjoy doing it. It is something that even if I only am in one league or two, I'll still do it. I like trying to keep up with the league a little bit. I'm not like a die-hard fan. I am a commander. I'm a Redskins fan. I don't like saying Commanders. It pisses me off even thinking about saying that. That is a whole other subject for a whole other day because it is truly an entire subject matter. But we can get to that some other day, and I do not want to discuss it here because that is already going to be a controversial opinion enough, but, you know, to each their own. But when it comes to fantasy football, it has waned a little in my interest. I'm not going to say it wasn't like I was before. Like I said, I remember one year, I'm pretty sure I was like in 4 leagues or 5 leagues in 1 year. So I was going crazy in a few years ago. Now, not as much anymore. I feel like if I'm just trying to keep track of 1 to 2. This one is just a little interesting. The one is with my brother and a few of his friends and a few other people, which is fine. I like that one. And then the other one is with a few old school friends of mine that I haven't seen in a while. So it is a little bit nice to try to keep up with them, and that is the nice part about that. But overall, it's just something fun to do, and as long as you don't get mired into like the details of it and let it become your life or something along those lines, I think it's a fun thing to do and nothing too crazy. Well, as long as you don't let the money get to your head, really, and it's like that's the entire aspect of it. But it's also like gambling, but in a sense, in a little bit of a different sense, that this is more of a game, you know. But some people do let the gambling aspect get to them, so that is something to just be aware of. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this. Just generally fantasy football, whether you're into it or not into it. If you aren't into it, let me know. I would love to know your opinions about what you think of it as an outsider who doesn't play it at all. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions about it. There are some people who hate it, who think it's stupid to do something like this, which I kind of understand, but to each their own when I hear something like that. So it is what it is. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe. Peace.